There is few style of content that I generally dislike, only because I understand that everyone has their own interests, and my interest could be considered weird to others, or not necessarily even weird, but just not that interesting. Like watches, I love watches. I'll like watch a video about a watch that I know I can't afford because I'm like that shit looks cool. You know what I mean? Or like traveling. I would say a good amount of people like traveling, but not everybody likes traveling, especially the style of like backpacking through a continent for 3 months. That could get annoying for a lot of people. So making a content about that, which is usually what I do, is not for everybody. Art as well. Good amount of people like art, but there are a good amount of people who don't care about art. So when it comes to making content around anything, special interests, I am all for it. I think some of the best content that I consume for me are basically a collection of old Indian TikToks. Because TikTok is banned in India right now, if I'm not mistaken. Because I generally found them to be hilarious. It would just be like a bunch of dudes and who are just friends will come up with the idea, execute the idea, post it, and then record it and then post it. And here in America, a lot of the people would just be like, "Oh, this shit is cringy," which is understandable. I could understand how people find that cringy, but I genuinely enjoyed that. I thought that was funny, or I thought that was somewhat decently cool. What I don't like, there's only one type of content that I generally, well, actually two type of content that I generally hate. One is if someone's whole thing is just drama or keeping you updated to drama. Of like, oh, this is what happened with these two couple or whatever, or celebrity updates. That shit, I don't hate that. I just dislike that. But the content that I hate is public pranksters, especially people who make content around like going to Walmart and just being absolutely dicks. I'm talking absolutely dickheads to the workers or the shoppers, and then will record that, and that's just the content. That's all the content is, and I blame the Nelk Boys. I blame the Nelk Boys because in middle school and in high school, I've never understood why people enjoy the content, but it was really big. I don't know what they do now, but that's what they used to do. And I genuinely hated that type of content because I'm like, why would you do that to someone that's not doing anything to you? And then be surprised when they react because you are doing something that you know it's going to upset them. And then in the comments, it would be like, oh, yeah, this person didn't pass the vibe check. What the? That used to piss. Those type of content often pisses me off more than the actual content of them people being dicks. Because what do you mean he didn't pass the vibe check? You annoyed someone, they reacted annoyed, and then now we're surprised that they didn't pass the vibe check. That shit used to be annoying. There's a levels to this annoyance of this content though. There's sort of doing annoying stuff to your peers who might understand what's going on in social media, who might be like, oh, these people are just making these type of content, let me play along. And then there's making that type of content to generation that don't even understand what's going on, especially people that could be twice your age or people that could be your parents. I hate when that happens to, I don't want to say the elderly, but even middle-aged men or women who just put on a shift, 8 hours to whatever work they were doing, and that shit is annoying, and they're shopping, and then there's a dickhead moving their carts, or there's a dickhead putting plants in their head, what's it called, annoying them and calling them names, which blows my mind. I just don't understand how someone that could be your mother's or your father's age, and you're out here treating them like that. I've never understood the entertainment value behind it. Apparently a lot of you guys find a lot of entertainment value behind it. So ultimately, Gideon, that one white guy too, I forget his name, with the puffy hair, who would go around basically annoying people and they're recording. The Nelk Boys, people like that. I don't know if Gideon still does it, but people like that type of content is the only content where I genuinely hate that. Because what do you mean you're annoying people for the sake of clips and then be surprised that people are annoyed? I'm a little surprised that they don't get arrested because I'm like, at this point, they have to be committed some sort of a crime or whatever the case is. And I was hoping that type of content will go away, just die out. Remember how when YouTube first was a thing, people would prank people or just fake pranks? How that kind of just went away and died out? I was hoping that would be the case. But when it comes to this content, unfortunately, that's not the fucking case. Because people are still doing it. These two named Dirty and Red basically go around harassing the elderly, then are surprised that the elderly react such a way. So they will call them foul name, dickhead or jackass, For there was this video where he basically pushes this other person's car and then is surprised that that person reacted, hey, why are you moving my car, or whatever the case is, or full blown physically hands on the person or put plant on the head and just be surprised that the person is, excuse me, or whatever the case is, and then they'll go on and violate them and call them a dick or a joke, a jerk or a jackass or something like that. And generally, dude, that shit be frustrating me. What it's a little bit more annoying though, I will say. Why is there a thumbs up? I'm FaceTiming someone. What's annoying me is the section though, the comment section. I hope it's just a bunch of I don't know why that's happening. I hope it's just a bunch of teenagers who are completely dicks. Well, they are, but completely childish. Like, I'm like 13 and under, because I could be like, all right, I could forgive that, because you guys are still learning. But it doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's like grown men basically just watching this content, eating the shit up, talking about, I see you've been in the gym, bro, and hyping these people being dicks. I don't know why there's a thumbs up thing with my camera. I will stop saying that. But no, that's the only type of content I genuinely dislike. And I wish that, we would move past this. Or we need to start shaming these people. No, legitimately though, we actually collectively need to start shaming them for their actions. Or we should have a limitation of when we find it not funny anymore. If you do this, it's no longer funny. You're actually just being a dick, or you're harassing someone. If you're harassing someone twice your age, someone that could be your parents or your mom or your dad, that's not funny. If you're harassing someone that's just trying to do their job, like a Walmart stalker, and then you're undoing their job, making their jobs harder, because working at Walmart sucks. As someone who has worked at Walmart when I was 16, one of the worst jobs I had was working at McDonald's and working at Walmart. Dude, being up on your feet 8 hours, basically unpacking and packing things, putting things on the shelves, just for used to be teenagers, but now for the grown man to come and do all the work you just did, undo all the work you just did. That would fucking frustrate me, and rightfully so. So when these people react the way they react, for us to be like surprised that they're reacting the way they react. For a lot of you guys in the comments eating this shit up be frustrating me. It really does frustrate me a lot, and it doesn't seem like that's the case for everybody. And Dirty and Red are two grown men. These are not teenagers. There's no excuse for this type of content, but two grown men making this type of content is fucking frustrating. And if you just search up Walmart pranks on YouTube, the first video that comes up is a kid or a teenage boy or whatever the fuck is being an absolute dickhead. And for the people who genuinely sit there and watch these content or comment or subscribe to these people, because clearly people are doing it if they keep coming back and making more videos, and if they have this many likes. What is this? 18 hours ago, 71,000 views, 900 comments, 4,000 likes. Clearly there's people there. I'm just wondering, what is the enjoyment, just seeing the reaction of the people? And if so, do you not understand that these people are humans as well? You know what I mean? This is like someone's dad or someone's grandpa or someone's mom or someone's grandma. And would you generally be okay with your parents getting these type of treatment so someone could make money off them or make content off them? And if so, just why? Because surely it can't be any sort of entertainment value in the sense of watching sports, or like, because the only entertainment I could see is the reactions, but the reaction is on the back of people who did not consent to this, who their day is being made harder because of this shit. And as another human who could experience those things, you wouldn't want this happening to you. So why are you generally just fine with someone's parents being done to this? And it's never like people our age, because if you do it to young people, they'll be like, you're being a dick, I'm gonna move on. But the elderly or like middle-aged people, they'll be like, oh, this person is actually being a dick. Let me see why they're being a dick. Because they don't know you're making a content off this. Or they don't know that you're making a whole video off this. They just think you're being a dick. And that there's actual problems to be solved, and not like them being a butt of a joke. I genuinely find that to be cruel. I find that to be one of the most cruel shit you could do to a person, is make them the butt of a joke. for the sake of giggles. This is high school all over again, like that one dickhead who would pick on people so they could be liked. That, but on steroids, because these people who make these type of contests, their paycheck is tied to essentially making other people the butt of a joke so they could be liked enough. So it's weird. I dislike it.